exactly 1 year since I received my chihuahua in the mail. She was professionally preserved. She was dry preserved for me. I spent a few $1,000s to do that instead of cremating or burying. Probably the thing I'm most well known for in the world. A lot of people said I was crazy. I was like Jeffrey Dahmer, and I don't know how that's any crazier than having your pet be burned to ashes and then carrying the ashes around with you. I don't think there's anything crazy about it. People collect taxidermy and preserved animals all the time. This one was just mine. And I loved her a lot, so this is what I wanted to do with her after she passed. A lot of people said it was like disturbing or disrespecting the dead, which is funny because like you don't know her, I know her, and guess where she would want to be? In here with me, not in my backyard buried in the cold dirt. So this would have been her preference, and also I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that disturbing the dead nonsense. So because it's been a year, I'm gonna take her out and show you her and just answer some questions. First I will say when I did this a year ago, I got a lot of unsolicited advice on the way I was storing her, which is like, do you think I'd spend thousands of dollars on this and then not make sure I'm doing it right? But the people that work at the company that's been doing this professionally for years saw my original video and said I was storing her beautifully. I got advice about the window sunlight, like bleaching her fur, but that window's always closed, and if the blinds are ever open, it's because I'm using the natural light for about an hour to film videos. The rest of the time it's closed, and she also has this velvet sheet behind her nice case that protects her. Because she's enclosed, I tuck these silica gel packs in there for any moisture, and I regularly take the top off and take her out and inspect her to make sure there's no like mold or mites or anything. And in a year, she's been perfect, and I keep her here with all these Virgin Marys. I have flowers. In here is her preserved heart. They preserved the organ for me and put it in a little jar, and there's flowers and candles and lots of things. That's where I keep her. And I'm gonna go sit over there now where the lighting is better and we can look at her together. So this is Eggs. She looks very beautiful. Yes, this is really her. No, it's not exactly the same as stuffing an animal. There is a process where she's basically freeze-dried, and it just helps her look a little more realistic. I chose to have her sitting like this. This was her favorite pose. Her little squinty eyes, she loved to do that. Her little ladylike crossed hands, and I loved her dearly. So number one question is, where did I get this done? Even though I do mention it in like most of the other videos. Animal Family Pet Preservation in Ohio. Google them. Outside of that, don't ask me any questions. I've had people ask me cost for their pets, how much it would cost to get their pets preserved, depending on their weight, if they preserve this certain kind of pet. I don't work there, so you should email them. But basically, if you know you want to do this, you should know beforehand, because when your pet passes, you need to ask the veterinarian to give them back to you, and you have to put them immediately in your freezer. And they can be in your freezer for up to, I think, 6 or 9 months if you need to save money still, or just decide if this is what you really want. And then you have to overnight your pet frozen with lots of like dry ice packages, and then it takes about 6 or 9 months for them to do the whole process. So I loved Eggs dearly. She was a senior chihuahua that I adopted. We had each other for 2.5 years. I have always loved chihuahuas. I've been around them my whole life, so I got her because she was beautiful. I had a chihuahua in childhood that died when I was 21, and if I had the money, I would have preserved her too, but I didn't. So I buried her. 5 years later, I did dig her up, and I got to save her bones. But because I was more of an adult when I got Eggs, I didn't really know how old she was. I just knew that they didn't know her age. She had been previously abused, and she was being rehomed, put up for adoption by the animal hospital that had figured out she was being abused. All I knew is that she needed a home, and they needed someone who worked from home and had experience with senior dogs. And I just knew I loved her first sight, and that whenever she passed, I would plan better so that I could have her with me the way I wanted to. And we had each other, like I said, 2.5 years. She died of chronic kidney disease, which she had her whole life. And she was doing really good. Like, I was taking really good care of her. She didn't really need any medication, just special diet. Towards the very end, she needed some water injections under her skin. She was honestly slaying. She was slaying the day away. She was really healthy, and then she just declined super fast in a couple weeks, and it was really traumatizing. And so I got to keep her like this. And I guess questions I get is like, does she look like herself? Yes, this is a picture of her. She looks She looks beautiful. They did beautiful work. How much does it cost? Like I said, it depends. They do it by weight. She was a tiny little girl, and even then, with all the shipping and the supplies and like the case I had to buy for her myself, every cost put into it, like I think $3,000 total for me. So if that's a frame of reference, a lot of people, I don't know, what other questions do people ask? Why? Because I wanted to, and because I love taxidermy. I already collect taxidermy. Or like a lot of people say, like, you could have got a fake one. You could have just had someone make a fake one. I don't want a fake one. I want the real one. Another question is like, or like a comment I would get a lot is that this is unhealthy and like I'm never gonna get over her and like, you know, that's the cycle of life. She needs to be buried. No, she doesn't. Not if I have anything to say about it. And also, I am over it. I feel fine about her death. I was sad when it happened, but like, I don't spend all day staring at her and talking to her. She's in her case. When I walk by her, I look at her. Sometimes I say hello, and that's about it. She's just here, and she's beautiful, and she's being honored the way she should. I think people asked if I knew of like any other services that do this. I only know this one. I'm sure it's easier if you're in driving distance of Ohio, but like I said, you can ship your pets and they ship them back to you, and they do beautiful work. I was worried that she wouldn't look like herself, they wouldn't get it right. Because she was sick, she also died really skinny because like when you have chronic kidney disease, you don't really want to eat, and I didn't want her to be preserved looking sickly, and so they were able to put a little weight on her too in the process of preserving her. At her healthiest weight that I knew her, she was about 7 pounds, and they made her 7 pounds because when she died she was like 4 pounds. So everything is perfect. She doesn't smell like anything. People also wonder if my pets are bothered by her, and the answer is no, because one time a lady came on here and was like, if you're gonna continue to have pets, don't get your deceased pet preserved. Like, your animals will freak out. They'll know there's a dead body in the house. I don't know what was up with her cats, but that's not true. My cats don't even jump up to where her case is. Even when she's not in the case, they don't smell anything because I leave it open when I'm in the room to like air her out sometimes. They couldn't care less. Like, they really couldn't. They don't even look at her. And also, she doesn't have any organic material inside of her anymore, like her organs, so she doesn't smell like a dead animal. She smells probably like nothing to me, but like if you have a super nose, she probably smells like chemicals. And yes, this is her real fur. I don't take her out and touch her that much, but when I do, I pet her a little bit. One time someone was like, don't pet her because her hair is gonna fall off and it's never gonna grow back. It's like, I know it's not gonna grow back. She's dead. And I don't spend every day petting her, but if I'm holding her, yeah, I'm gonna pet her. That was my girl. We were like deeply close to each other. She never left my side. She loved me so much. She was a perfect sweet baby, and I'm glad I have her. And also, people ask if I'm gonna do this with any of my other pets, and the answer is I don't know. It really depends on space more than anything. At the very least, I'll be like saving their bones, but she was just such a special girl, so that's why I preserved her. I just think she's beautiful, and I never have seen a Chihuahua look exactly like her, so I didn't want her likeness to leave this earthly plane. But like for my cats, I don't know, it just depends where I live, I guess, when they pass away. Neither of them are old. Just depends on the space, if I have room for a couple more cases or not. I also got some funny comments because in my original video I said that like I had a childhood Chihuahua, and when she died I couldn't afford to get her taxidermied, and then about a year later I adopted this Chihuahua, and people thought that I got a senior Chihuahua so that it would die faster, so that I could have a preserved dead dog faster. And the logic there is really stupid, because the reason you preserve your pet is for the sentimental reasons. You love them so much you want to keep them. So I wouldn't have any sentimental motivation to preserve a dog I hadn't even met yet. I adopted her because she's beautiful and perfect. And I taxidermied her because that's the kind of thing I would do when my pet dies, regardless of who the pet ended up being and like how long down the line I would have had them, etc., etc. I got a senior Chihuahua because I'm really good at taking care of senior Chihuahuas. I have the experience, and I don't like puppies. I don't have the patience for a puppy, but I have the patience for an old girl. So it's been a year with my old girl, and she's beautiful. I have no complaints.